What's up, dudes? This episode is brought to you by Cherry Popper's Hentai Edition from Bayside. I want to smoke this later. It's going to be awesome. Alright. Keep it in a cool, dry place. Anyways. I'm still going to finish this strawberry shortcake. Alright, so... Look. The best thing to take away from all this bullshit is you have to understand that religion is a form of mind control that has been transformed by some kind of an ancient satanic cult, because religion used to be a form of government. That's why all the ancient cities are built out of quartz or granite that has quartz in it and are shaped like motherboards and microprocessors and whatnot. So just to give you an idea of how 5D warfare works, I think I understand now more of that craziness in the symbolism in the Mormon movie and all that bullshit. And like, you have to understand, Mitt Romney's job was to make everyone conservative want to vote for Obama and Clinton. That's his job, okay? Another thing they don't tell you about, one of the schisms in the Mormon religion is the dichotomy of how do you protect America. Do you protect America by upholding the Constitution, or do you protect America by turning on Americans because they murdered Joseph Smith? Well, Joseph Smith was kind of a piece of shit when you look into it, like all these people are, because one of the secrets of the handshakey deals is they're not initiated, but we are, so they don't count, which is kind of bullshit. Which is, again, if they can do that, I can do whatever the fuck I want too. When you buy into their bullshit, that's how you get taken advantage of. If you do your own bullshit, you're creating your own reality. It's a whole other thing I don't want to get into right now. Anyways. So, it seems like one of the ways, specifically, because I can attest to this, that I've seen the biggest differences of the Mormon Church. It seems like before Hinckley and after Hinckley, it was like a plan to take over America, and only during Hinckley era, they were like trying to strengthen the American youth. Specifically, I remember them saying some bullshit like, if you have a child that is born with like a handicap or a disability, like in a wheelchair, and you have to like take care of them, that's because they were so valiant in the spirit world that they were sent here like that, so that way they'd be protected from the sins of the devil. Let me float you another one, okay? Whoever the fuck it was that started selling out America was like, well, in about 20, 30 years, we're going to start bringing all these illegals in. So we don't need strong American youth. So all the biochemical companies seem to be in Utah. Let's start doing eugenics on all of our own children. That way, as a Satanists, what they want to do is destroy their own population as a sacrifice to Baal. So they were like, well, Mormons are having so many kids, and even one kid can change the world, so we'll go let like Moses destroy all the firstborns. So they were like, we need to get rid of as many kids as possible. So since Mormons are outdoorsy and they don't really eat as much processed food and they don't watch TV, we'll have to wipe them off the face of the earth using genetics. And there's a lot of genetics companies in Utah, and they all started giving like crazy chemical bullshits to all the Mormons, and they had a bunch of kids who basically have mental defects and I'm not trying to go into it, but I just left the CVS, okay, allegedly. And there's one person there I know is Mormon who has a mental defect and is now like 40, 50 years old. And just so happens that the manager of the place is like someone who's foreign born and kind of hates America. And they're like just telling this fucker what to do left and right. And they don't want to sin, so they're just go ahead and obey. Not that there's anything wrong with having a manager and all that bullshit. But I'm saying, like, because that person was mentally handicapped by design 40, 50 years ago, they put that plan into action. There's one less strong American able to push back against the tide of everyone being replaced. According to plan, that's why they're releasing everyone out of the Venezuelan pr prisons, flying them here illegally and giving them your tax money, and they gave you $600 once 2, 3 years ago, right? On top of that, assuming they didn't get you that way, you now have kids. Those kids are being sent to indoctrination camps by schools, and they are being used to control you, and basically you're paying for them to get their own bodies cut up and disfigured, and then you now have to take care of them for the rest of their lives, or you're a bad parent. So no one has time to ask questions or look into bullshit like, why is all the influencers from Canada? Isn't Canada really owned by the UK? Isn't MI6 doing operations against the US because of the corporation and all that bullshit, and America finally got rid of all that bullshit? No one's asking that question. No one's going to the rallies to break up fights. They're going there dressed up as an anime character and go like, oh, look at me, I'm on, everyone give me views. And then once you get views, you have to sign a contract to one of these douchebags who owns all the media companies, because all the alt media is controlled by the regular media. And they're all spies and agents and all that bullshit. Or Stephanie would have just not done any of the bullshit, right? Why the fuck would you invite me to New York to have your blonde friend who's like the granddaughter of some fucking crazy media person stalk me, and you're too afraid to talk to me directly, but you're not too afraid to steal from a child and go get pimped out to a bunch of rap douches and then get smutted out to a bunch of beta males in Korea? It's retarded. You're in some kind of cult, and the cult you're in isn't even the real cult. I keep telling you, they have you do all that materialistic bullshit. That way you have no choice but to deal with your own karma and get reincarnated back into the cycle. If you go above that bullshit, allegedly you can go to the other shits. Or come back here to save everyone else if you really want to. But it's just like this. It's the meme. Shit, hold on, let me find it. I forgot. Oh, here it is. Basic structure of not how basic structure of satanic control over Gnostic religions. So even Gordon B. Hinckley, he was just cover a ruling body. Key men are Satanists. Those are the ones who probably said, all right, Hinckley, you've got about one more year of your bullshit, and then we're going to find a way to get rid of you and put someone in there who will toe the line. Because it seems like what they've done, like, look, I'm telling you, during Hinckley, they were like, everyone, like, the youth are the chosen ones of this time. You've been chosen for the last days, the youth. We need strong youth. We need men who are going to be Johnny Lingo to save these bitches from being crazy and used by Satan, because they're so materialistic that they'll always eat the apple first. We need strong Adams to save them from all that bullshit. As soon as Hinckley's dead, Monson comes in, starts begging for people in El Salvador to send their gold fillings to Utah to make a golden angel for the Olympics, which is basically one gigantic satanic ceremony thing. Everyone's born retarded, and 10 years after that, they're trying to do an invasion of, like, literally emptying out the prisons of every third world country and having them flown to America. That's literally what they did in Russia when they overthrew the Tsar. They released all the prisons and let all the crazy people storm through the streets, and everyone was like, please, anyone, save us from all this bullshit. And this is the thing. Apparently, I'm one person, and I've made this much of an impact, part-time, doing some pro bono work. Imagine if everyone else hadn't been shackled by debt and all the other bullshittery. I see why it says God would get mad at me if I choose the wrong woman. Because if I would have had one of these other skanks during this whole 10-year period, I'd be too busy trying to argue with my child about like what their gender is and all that bullshit that I wouldn't have been able to very easily capture all the fake ass wannabe spies who are spitting in America's face. I did it with a cell phone that I flashed Linux on. I showed them all what I was doing, and this when I was like, maybe they don't understand it because it's a cell phone. I'll bring a laptop. When I brought a laptop to show them what I was doing, they were like, "What if we got you a Miyamosa and asked you to do some graphics arts design for us?" And I was like, "These people are morons. They're no wonder why." Like the only reason they can be this moronic is because you watch TV. They're assuming everyone else is going to be stupider than them because they watch TV. If you just don't watch TV, that's enough to foil all of their problems. Anyways, that's the way I view it. There's some kind of a 5D war going on where like religious people are using like symbols and whatnot to program people's minds to get them to do things, and then later on it makes sense. Anyways, peace out.